To forestall any complicated debate, I can confirm, without hesitation, that what you are looking at is a cardboard box, and inside it is a book. Now, you can see that this particular design of cardboard box from Lulu is of particular use for we who live in the international postage range. A lot of things can happen to a box on its way through the postal service, and these buffers on the end, well, as far as the book is concerned, they are a lifesaver. Now, what did I get from Lulu? Well, I didn't actually order anything from Lulu. This is Kickstarter fulfillment, and here's a hint about what's in it. This is a local brand of coffee-flavored milk, which informs you that if you drink enough of it, you'll become a superhero. Unfortunately, it's an unspecified amount, so I keep trying every day, and who knows? Well, I don't have the X-Acto knife. I'm not even sure where it went. I think someone snuck into my room and took it. And the book itself is fighting us. It doesn't want to reveal its identity, but I guess that casts me in the role of villain this time, as I'm bound and determined to show you what lies under the cardboard mask in this case. Now, there's no bubble wrap this time. There is instead a thin layer of foam, which is quite nice. And it's completely wrapped around, so we'll peel off one side then the other, and now you're seeing a flare of color, and the milk gave you a hint. Hardcover exposed for all to see. Mighty Protectors. Let's see if we can get this fully in focus, as I'm sure it's not. Okay, Mighty Protectors. Well, what is Mighty Protectors? You might say it doesn't have the name recognition. Aha! V&V3. Its secret identity has been revealed. This is the newest incarnation of Villains and Vigilantes by its original creators, Jeff D. and Jack Herman. And as you can see, it says it's bigger and better than ever, filled with iconic and very familiar feeling art. This promises to be sort of a bridge game, I think. What I'm feeling is that it's a bridge between the old and the new. There's all the things that we liked about what made Villains and Vigilantes, and yet there are now things which allow you to get going a little faster, things which maybe are more familiar to younger gamers who maybe haven't had the opportunity to explore games quite like Villains and Vigilantes. Who can say? But let's take a look inside. What do you get when you order the PDF or when you order the hardcover? Well, they're black and white interiors, as you can see, filled with character art and filled with different charts and things. And yet it still has that sense of Villains and Vigilantes. It opens up with a discussion of what is a superhero and provides you with options for slowly and carefully building who you will play. Players of earlier editions may be wondering what some of the changes are. Well, right off the bat, as you start at the beginning of the book and start working your way through, you'll note that in addition to the traditional random generation of powers, there is now a point buy option, which is balanced with that. So you should have the same result either way. Just if you have an idea going in, then you use the appropriate technique of point buy. And if you are looking to be inspired by what you roll, then you go through and generate your character randomly. This new edition still retains its focus on these concepts of what is a superhero, what is it to be heroic, and the concept of playing yourself, although that latter concept is downplayed much as it was in Living Legends. Living Legends itself serving as, I think, a test ground for what this edition turned out to be. We can find a lot of text has been drawn on very heavily from that game. It's not Living Legends 2.0, but where expository text can be repurposed, I think you'll find it often is. So, with the inclusion of a lot of setting material, still vague enough for you to apply, twist, and fold, bend, and manipulate as you will. This is a fairly extensive game. There's many, many pages of powers and gear and flaws and the like. So although the game looks significantly larger than its predecessors, I mean the 2.1 edition of Villains and Vigilantes is 64 pages if I remember right, learning the game has been made a more organized and quicker experience. We're still doing a lot of the things that we used to do, but real efforts have been made to make gameplay faster. So this video is an unboxing. It's not a review of the game, so I thought we'd round it out with a little trip down amnesia lane and take a look at what has come before. So what I have here is a Lulu print copy of Villains and Vigilantes, the 2.1 edition. This, if I understand correctly, is mainly an update or a cleaning up of the original rules. As you'll note, it's a very lean game. I mentioned earlier it might be 64 pages. It turns out there's 55 pages of text, but the text is an incredibly small font. So there's a very high text-to-page ratio. It's certainly not a light game in terms of content in any way. The art is similar to what we looked at in Mighty Protectors in that it's focused on the characters and it's all, of course, black and white. This is a game that requires a lot of charts, not the least of which because its character creation system is solely dependent on random power generation, and this game focuses very strongly on you being the hero, with justifications for that, and again, the insistence on the definition of what is a superhero, which I quite respond to. So that's this game. This is Villains and Vigilantes. Then, this was followed up when we have the creation of Monkey House Games. This is followed up with Living Legends, which you'll note is significantly larger. This game has random character creation, and it has a point buy, or what they call directed character creation, and charts still play a big role in it. Right? Now it has a more updated layout, but the same kind of idea. Much, much less art, but what art there is again focused on the character. And most of this page count is on things like powers and abilities and gear and the like. And that finally brings us to Villains and Vigilantes 3.0, otherwise known as Mighty Protectors. This one exists in hardcover and has been, I'm given to understand, the most play-tested update of the previous updates. It likewise is almost entirely full of abilities and powers. The learning the game part of picking up the game is still quite light. So, Villains and Vigilantes 3.0 finished its Kickstarter and now out there ready to fight crime with you.